Our class, so effective business communication is the course we would be starting on, and the course would start from September 6 to 16, 2022. It's an online, and it has got the course format, right? Course description, the required textbooks and equipment. It's College English and Business Communication 11th edition, McGraw-Hill Education, the publisher name. Then attendance, the course weightage, 10% for attendance, assignments, homework 40%, final quiz and assessment is 50%. So the total is 100%. So the grading is here, the submission right of the assignments. So there is a penalty if you are late submitting your assignment, 55% each class day late. Attendance requirement, on time and stay at the end of the class. We have the calendar here. Please go through the calendar. The first day is communication in everyday life. And all of the course material is under modules. So if I click modules and then start looking for the PowerPoint slides, open it up, and it has got your all of the information, which is the textbook we would be using in. So we have chapter learning outcomes. Up at the end of this chapter, explain the importance of communication in everyday life, list the 4 basic communication skills and explain how they are interconnected, and show how the 4 communication skills are used in your social, educational, and professional lives. And the last one is describe how we communicate in the business environment. The assignments would be listed over here. As soon as it would be available, you would see this would be green here, right? Green. So have an eye on these assignments and quizzes. Let's head back to our PowerPoint slide and then continue with essential principles. Now, communication is the exchange of information. Now, what is speaking, listening, reading, and writing are the basic skills in the communication process. Now, social media, of course, are playing a vital role in online communities in everyday life, like a Facebook, Twitter, are often being used. Cell phones have become a necessity now, texting, apps. So these are the essential principles in communication. Type of communication, we have oral communication, we have a written communication, and we have non-verbal communication. Now, what is oral communication? It's a spoken words, and written communication, you write and looking for the immediate feedback. Non-verbal is communication without words, like a body language. Then purpose of communication, there are 4 main purposes of communication. Like the first one is to inquire, right? To inform, second. The third one is to persuade, and the fourth one to develop goodwill. Now, this exhibit 1.1 communication components. Now, look at that, the message sender, the actual message inside, and then message interpretation, receivers, message receivers. And it's a feedback, the continuous feedback. Message sender, see the components of communication has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, these 6 components, where message senders, actual message, the third component is message transmission, the fourth one is message receiver, the fifth one is message interpretation, and the sixth one is feedback. Now, what are the factors that influence communication? The sender should account for how the following 4 factors affect the communication process. Number 1 is the background of the receiver. It's always important to put yourself in receiver's shoe and look for the needs and look for what is the purpose you're writing to or you're communicating to, and what would be the outcome of that. Now, the second is appearance of the sender's communication. Now, the third one is barriers that might negatively affect the intended message, and the language and communication skills of the sender and receiver. The background, appearance, these are the factors, which has a significant impact on a communication. The barriers, one of the biggest barrier is the language, the culture, physical distractions, right? So these are the communication which can hinder um, the purpose of communication. Language, like I said, is one of the biggest, the barrier. Be sensitive to cultural diversity when communicating. Carefully choose the words to express the intended meaning. In spoken communication, words choice, grammar, pronunciation, and listening are also factors. In written communication, an incorrect word choice may change the intended meaning of the message. These are the responsibilities of the sender and receiver. Exhibit 1.5. Then they try to explain, the purpose of this, the exercise is to create and maintain goodwill, right? Because customer, right? You treat your reader, your sender is your customer, a client, and always give a feedback, which involves getting an oral, written, or nonverbal response from the receiver. Maslow hierarchy of needs, like MBO, right? Physical, security, social esteem. These are the pyramid, basic needs and highest level of needs. Now, you try to put in the responsibilities of sender and receiver under the Abraham Maslow's 5 levels of needs: physical needs, security, social esteem, and you try to assess the needs of the receiver by helping the receiver satisfy the higher level of needs. The sender can improve communication. Apply interpersonal skills like a human relation skills. You attitude, this is an important thing. You attitude which puts the reader or listeners first. The communication skills, oral, written. So it's an art you develop with the passage of time. Let's say if you want to be a good presenter, all you need to do is practice all the time, right? Practice makes perfect. Writing, the more you write, the better you would be in terms of writing to your clients. Listening skills, the more you listen, it's better, to understand the needs of your client, and you would be able to transform into writing. Speaking, reading is one of the principles means of obtaining information. In terms of applying for jobs, right? All you need to read a lot about your employer. The more you know about employer, it's better that you would be able to answer when they ask about what do you know about our company, the research. Writing skills are important for creating and communicating information. The value of good communication skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So these are the 4 communication skills applied to a personal, social, educational, and professional lives in much the same way. Each of the communication skills it's strengthened and reinforced by other skills. Like, in order to be a good communicator or speaker, you need to be a good listener, right? Same, in order to be good writing, so you need to be a good reader. So this is the communication flow within the organization, right? This exhibit 1.7 tells us management, upward communication, cross-level communication, and it's happening, within the organization all the time. Upward, horizontal, downward communication, within the organization. Now, types of business communication: internal communication, external. Internal, within the organization, and external, outside of the organization. Let's say you're learning, you're part of accounting program students. So whatever you do, your external users for the financial statements would be the banks, the investors, the CRA, in terms of, for taxation purposes. The 6 C's of business communication are clear, complete, concise, consistent, correct, and courteous. So you need to have all of these 6 C's while either you're writing, you're communicating with your clients. Communication components, again, which the sender composes the intended message and then sends the actual message through the message transmission, right? Both the message sender and the message receiver provide feedback by responding to each other through a written, oral, nonverbal means, or through a combination of these components. Maslow hierarchy of needs, we already talked about that, and the communication flow. So this concludes the first session, the chapter 1, communicating in everyday life. Have an eye on the assignments and quizzes related to chapter 1. And if you have any questions related to this presentation, please get back to me at my official email ID, which is on course syllabi here, and I'll try to get back to you at my earliest. So I'll see you next time in another learning. So bye for now.